Saturday Social is powered by EA Sports FIFA 23 with PlayStation.
Welcome back to Saturday Social. Joining myself and Joe on the show this week, representing Manchester United, Harry Pinero. There he is, representing Newcastle United, Emil Franchi. There it is. Look, Carrius. He's very happy with his Carrius top. We actually couldn't.
I'm never going to wear it again after this weekend, so I'm making the most of it.
You might do.
I might never watch
Right, moving on now. The Premier League is heating up top and bottom. A lot of talking points this week. So we've got the true or false paddles out.
Yes.
Joe, quite straightforward this one, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, I'm going to read out a statement. You're going to say true or false, and then we'll have a little bit of debate about it, won't we? We're going to start with Liverpool, who have had a very up and down week, haven't they? Obviously, they beat Emil's beloved Newcastle at the weekend to move up the table. They are just 7 points off the top four now, but then a few days later, hammered by Real Madrid at Anfield, their heaviest ever defeat in the Champions League. You know, bad day that was, but they are still in contention for the top four.
Yep.
So we're going to ask very simply, will they finish in the top four? In fact, no, sorry. Liverpool will finish is the statement, not a question. Liverpool will finish in the top four.
Right,
true
mate.
or false? I'm getting there eventually, sorry.
Yeah.
It's early in the morning, guys.
True or false? What are you saying? Oh,
Wow.
both of
They're
them.
the bookies' favourite to finish in the top four, so that's interesting. Why no?
I think the inconsistency of the team this season has been my worry more than anything. I don't think the players are the issue, really. It's just how inconsistent they are. And I think, as you mentioned earlier about the teams like Fulham, teams like Spurs are even finding a little bit of form now as well. I think because of how far they are in the league, I think it's going to be a mountain for them to climb. So for that reason, I would say, yeah. And I don't watch them and think you've got it together.
So whose fault was it?
I think, personally, my view on this situation is when a team's won it all, like they've genuinely won it all, it's sometimes hard for you to get back to that level again and consistency. Secondly, they lost one of the best players that they've ever had with Mane as well, and I don't think they've really replaced him. So, yeah, it's just and injuries for the defence as well. It hasn't really been the best for them, and some of their star players haven't been playing well.
You're also saying no?
Yeah, I just think there's too many slip-ups in there. We dominated them as well, like with 10 men last week. We were very unlucky. It was only because of Alisson that we didn't actually get any goals in that one, and the fact that we are struggling for goals at the minute anyway. But yeah, I can't see Liverpool going on the type of run that Man United are. You know, it just doesn't seem like they're going to be able to keep that up. And if they turn it around against Real Madrid, they're going to have even more stresses of that. I think it largely depends on if Nunes can keep up form and start actually doing what he was meant to be doing from the start of this season. And we'll see what Gakpo does as well, because that's an interesting signing.
Yeah.
OK. Yeah, interesting to see what happens with the top four, isn't it? Certainly exciting battle, I would say, for those places. Next up, we're talking about another team who's struggling a little bit, Chelsea. They, of course, lost at home 1-0 to Southampton, bottom of the league. And there were boos as well after the game from some of the fans. We can have a look now at their form. They've only won, one game in all competitions. In their last 10, that's since New Year's Day. So not the best of times for Chelsea fans right now. And Graham Potter started his press conference yesterday in a bit of a light-hearted mood. Have a watch of this.
Sorry, mate, guys, just come out of a crisis meeting.
How was it?
Well, still here.
Yeah, fair play. So next time we're going to talk about Chelsea. True or false, that man there, Graham Potter, will succeed at Chelsea. What are you saying with your paddles?
As much as I really like the guy.
Wow, both of you.
And this is not about him. I just think he's gone into a club right now that are going through, I'd say, reconstruction with the new owners and the fact that they've bought so many players that probably Graham Potter hasn't actually picked himself. And I think with Brighton, when he was as Brighton manager, those players were the players that he looked for. And I think that it's very difficult to manage all those egos, especially if every game is considered a final now because of the form is really, really bad. And I think with Chelsea, previous owners anyway, and fans and stuff, they kind of want success ASAP. So for me, I think that's probably going to be the pressure that he's going to face.
The one thing, though, that I will say that he's got probably in his favour is the fact that it's not Abramovich in charge. You know, this kind of like quick snap decision thing that was famous at Chelsea beforehand might have gone. And I know bringing Potter in was a huge step, and it was a bit of a, is that going to work? But like you say, I just think that the toxicity will get too much. People are already calling for him to go, and if people are already saying that, then that kind of is the writing on the wall. I'd love for him to do it, though. I think that he deserves it, and I don't think he'll be short of options if he does lose his job.
Yeah,
at Chelsea.
100%.
Yeah. Wow.
Well, yeah, it's harsh, isn't it? It's harsh. Let's go to our next one then. And the man that scored the winner against Chelsea, we saw it before the break, James Ward-Prowse, who's moved to within 1 goal now of the Premier League free kick record, which is held, of course, by David Beckham. 18 free kicks directly scored. James Ward-Prowse on 17. What a free kick taker this man is. So very simply, true or false, James Ward-Prowse is the best free kick taker in Premier League history.
Oh, disagreement.
Finally, we've got a disagreement on the show. Let's go.
What we're here for.
Go on then, Emil. You take us away here.
I mean, the team he's playing in is Southampton. To do that consistently is pretty special. You know, you look at most players who take free kicks, and with him, I think he's probably one of the only players that you would feel confident that every time he's definitely going to at least challenge the keeper.
Yeah.
Some players will sky it. You know, I'm used to watching John Joe Shelby at Newcastle, and a lot of the time it'd be like, no, and it's up there. With Ward-Prowse, you do actually think, like, I know I certainly was afraid of him in the semi-finals. Every time that Ward-Prowse was even close to getting a free kick, you thought, this is it.
It is nervous. It's like a penalty around the edge of the box.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly it.
It's like when Rory Delap was taking throw-ins to Stoke back in the day, isn't it?
It's more dangerous.
The same kind of thing. You just think goal.
But you're saying Beck, see?
Yeah, I'm going with David Beckham. I think I do hear what you're saying, and I think in time he will be the most successful. But David Beckham, I just think of the clutch moments that David Beckham has had as a Premier League player for Man United. The technique, the amount of goals. Obviously, no one's was ever going to get to him apart from James Ward-Prowse. So for me, I'm always going to go with David Beckham. I think consistently world-class player and done it when it really mattered as well. And outside of the Premier League, you know, the goal he scored against Greece as well. Yeah. Those moments there, you don't forget those. But James Ward-Prowse is
Chelsea
incredible.
need to get him in. That's it now. Ted Bowley, David Beckham.
Can we get that David Beckham guy?
Get him in.
Get him in. OK, next up, we're going to go to the bottom of the table, towards the bottom of the table now, where Leeds United have confirmed the appointment of Javi Gracia. And we can see just how important that appointment is. That's not easy to say, important, that appointment, because they are 19th in the table. As you can see, 19 points from 23. And who do they play today, Joe?
Southampton.
Massive game. Leeds against Southampton. So, Javi Gracia with it all to do. The next question is quite simply true or false. Will he keep Leeds United up? So, true or false, Javi Gracia will keep Leeds up.
Oh.
OK, disagreement. Go on, Harry, you go first.
I believe, every time I've watched Leeds play, and even when we play them twice, they're a very good team. They've got good players. I just think that sometimes new managers, they can breathe some sort of new energy into the team, and I think that's what's going to happen here. Don't know the manager from Adam. Never heard of him before. However, I just believe that with the team...
Watford manager, 2 years. I know we spelt his name wrong on the strap.
Yeah,
we spelled his name wrong on the strap.
Probably what it was. So
it's thrown him
out. But no, jokes aside, I genuinely feel like Leeds are a good team, and I love watching them play in the Premier League. So this is more hope that they stay, because they're...
Did a good job at Watford. A lot of ex-Watford players speak very highly about him as well, of
2
course.
years at Watford is like 20 years at another team,
Longest serving, yeah. Of course, got to a cup final.
We fixed it
already.
Sorry, Javi.
Oh, there you go. See, now I know who he is.
Thick moustache on his face. It's a different guy.
It was throwing him, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, guys. Eyesight's bad.
But you're disagreeing with Harry
you know what?
strongly.
That's a bit of a snap decision based on what I've just seen on the table there, and looking at the other teams that have got new managers. We mentioned Wolves before. They're on the up now. I think that Sean Dyche at Everton is a different beast. You know, that is probably what I'd say about Everton, what you said about Leeds.
Yeah.
They've got that unit of Tarkowski, Cody, and many others in that team who are going to drive them forward. Similar to Newcastle last year. And I would say that Leeds are probably going to have to battle it out with West Ham and Bournemouth. But he's just got so much work to do, and I just don't think they've got the consistency to keep going.
I like Motto, I like Somerville. I like those players, man. I think...
Yeah.
I know,
There's some talent in that.
there's a lot of talent. And
Oh, no denying it.
He's incredible,
brilliant.
man.
You know, to bring Weston McKennie and players like that down to that level, it's a very talented squad. I mean, another team that are down there...
Yeah, it brings us nicely onto this one,
Yeah,
doesn't it?
it does. It's also a really talented squad are West Ham, who are struggling badly at the moment. I mean, we can have a look at their recent results as well. We saw Chelsea's last 10 not good. West Ham's even worse. Way too many L's on there. They're down in 18th in the league after £180 million spent last summer and a 6th place finish last season. So, you know, not looking good, but we're going to throw it out to you guys. True or false, David Moyes is going to turn things around at West Ham?
Yeah.
I think true.
Yeah, man.
You think give him time?
Give him time, man.
I think so, yeah. I think they turned it around, like the Everton and Newcastle result. That was when they were starting to get there. And I don't think West Ham should really be down there. They've obviously got their eye on Europe and things like that. And I think that they might go out of that eventually. So when it comes down to it at the end of it, I think they'll just have enough, and it'll be a skin of the teeth kind of thing. And
Is that good enough, though? Skin in the teeth kind of thing after £180 million spent?
Probably not, but you know they've had 2 very good seasons where you might say that West Ham have probably overperformed.
Yeah.
They don't deserve to be down there. I think they've got a good little setup. I quite like West Ham. Know quite a few West Ham fans as well, so it's one of those where I'm like, yeah, okay, go on then.
Yeah, same. I agree. I think with West Ham, they've had a terrible season so far. However, again, with the talent in the team, a very proven manager who's managing 3 Premier League clubs as well, and I know that Moyes will turn it around. It's just a matter of time. I think as long as they can not be relegated, I think that will be a stepping stone for next season to be different.
Yeah.